Randy from Sound Dog Music, and today we're going to show you how to put together your compact recording studio desk. Alright, so our first step is going to be attaching the legs to the bottom of the desk. As you can see here, the desk has two sides of the main desk. This is the top where the four holes are at. And we're going to start by working on the bottom side, which has the holes for the leg brackets. In the box of legs, there will be 4 of these brackets and 4 of these legs. First thing is we're going to take and screw this bracket down to the pre-drilled holes that are on the bottom of the desk. One of the hardware bags is the pan head screws that we use to put the legs on. So we'll pull that out. I'm going to use a screw gun. You can use a screw gun or just a hand screwdriver. Either way, the holes are pre-drilled, so they're fairly easy to put in. Each of these brackets has 5 screws. And one more. All right, once the bracket is in, then we're going to take the leg. And by the way, the leg has an adjustable foot on the bottom. It spins to be able to adjust the height when this is all done in case the floor is out of level. It has one large hole here on this side of the leg. It's going to go over the top and line up with that hole that's in the bracket. Then one of the other hardware bags has your 4 large set screws for the legs and the Allen wrench that is needed to tighten that down. So we'll do that. Here's our wrench. One of these. Put that in the hole. All right, get it cinched down and tighten that down, and that will clamp the leg to the bracket. And there we go. All right, our next step is going to be to attach our uprights to the countertop. We have, just for video purposes, I went ahead and we're doing this without the legs, so it's easier for you to see here on the bench. So we're going to take our upright, and they are going to attach here. On the upright, there's 4 large holes, and that's for the torpedo fitting that we're going to be using to attach this to the countertop. On one side, though, there is 2 smaller holes. Those, you want to make sure that those holes are to the front, because that is what you're going to use to attach the rack rails with. So, first step in our torpedo connector is we have a shaft bolt. It's going to screw into the insert that's already here on the countertop. And when you screw these in, you can screw them down to where they're snug, but you might have to back them out a little bit in order to make, there's a hole that runs through the shaft bolt. It needs to be running this direction in order to line up with the housing that's going to go inside the upright. So I have those in, running the right direction. Now I'm going to take my upright, and we're going to take this is the housing here. It has, on one side, it has a little, looks like a screwdriver slot. We want to make sure that that screwdriver slot is also running this direction. We can drop them in because they need to line up with these. Now I'll hold that, put that on there, and drop this thing in. There we go. Next step is there's a grub screw. It's a small Allen set screw with a little tip on the end that's going to screw into the shaft bolt, and it locks it down. Once you take and cinch that down, that's on there really sturdy. These are really high-end connectors, and they last forever. And in future, if you need to take this apart, you can put it back together, and they still have their strength. So we do the same thing to this side, and then we'll be ready to attach our top. All right, so our last step on getting this top assembled is to take the upper top, and we have it flipped over at the moment, so we're looking at the bottom side of it. It has the same 4 inserts. I've already screwed in our shaft bolts, and you make sure you got them the holes angled this direction again. And then we take and just flip it over and you line it up with the holes on that side. It drops right down, and then we'll take and put in the grub screws on those 4, cinch them down, and this thing is way sturdy. All right, the last step to our desk is attaching our rack rails. We've supplied you with 2 rack rails, a bag that has 4 of these silver system screws. These are going to be used to attach the rack rail to the upright. And then we've also supplied you with a bag of 8 of the rack rail screws in case your equipment didn't come with screws or you needed some extras. So we supply you with that. So to attach these, there's some larger holes and some smaller holes. The system screws go through the large hole, and it's just going to get mounted up here right in the front. There is 2 pre-drilled holes that the system screws go through. Once you line it up, you can see right where they go. You screw those in, and it's all done.